Hello, I've got a slightly different review. It's my new car. It's a Vauxhall Corsa SXi and it's only 1.2 litre. I've scaled down. I'm thinking to myself, well, over the past few months, what's the point of driving a gas guzzler? My last car was a Vauxhall Vectra 2.2. I drive pretty much around my home area. I don't really tend to go out on further distance drives. So I thought, you know, there seems to be a growing trend for smaller cars now with rising fuel prices, tax, obviously insurance, and I've joined the bandwagon and I've gone for a Vauxhall Corsa SXi. Like I say, it's 1.2. It does about just over 40 miles to the gallon around town. Urban is going to be about a whopping 60 miles per gallon, which is fantastic. And basically on average between the two it does around about 50. So it's fantastic in that respect. My insurance is going to be cheaper. Obviously the petrol is going to be so much cheaper. At the Eden garage I got it from, they've actually got a program that tells you a comparison between my car and the new car, and I'm making a saving of £900 a year, which sounds fantastic. Anyway, let's take a closer look at my new car. Right, looking at the outside of the car, what I'm going to do first is just basically go into the good points and later on the not so good points in the car. Now the good points of this car, it being the SXi, it's actually got the 16-inch alloy wheels, which are quite nice. The colour of this car is a silver, but it's called Silver Lake, so it's got a little bit of a smoke. It's a smoky silver, it's like touch of grey to it, which is quite nice. If we follow through to the back of the car, we've got these, a nice touch on the SXi, you get these tinted windows at the back, which is nice. And we follow through to the back window there, that's tinted again. And we've also got the slightly chromed exhaust at the back there. And on the outside, I think that's about it for the moment. But what we'll do now is take a look into the boot space area. Got a little button here that releases the boot. And as you can see, there's quite a lot of space for a little car. I mean, for me personally, I'm more interested well, initially getting the shopping in there. Now, could I get the shopping in there? I've had a couple of shopping trips already, and I've got 2 kids, and we have a load of shopping that comes to about almost, I don't know, 150, 190 pound a week, and I could fit all the shopping in there, no problem at all. But if you've got anything bigger to go in there, you can actually fold these seats down, so you can increase the boot space there, which is ideal. Now over here, in here, can't remember, you take that off, you just pull it, and you can see you've got the jack, you've got the towing eye here. What else have we got? We've got a little wheel brace to take the wheel off. Right, let's clip that back on. Let's clip back on. Over here, there's a space for, you got a little cross there, a little medical box. Haven't got one in there, but you can buy one to fit in there. And that's the actual boot space. I'm quite happy with that. No problems at all. Right. Now that's the outside of the car. Right then, taking a look at the inside. If you look down at these seats, you can see in the SXi you have these lovely sort of like slightly bucket seats. They fit, I'm really happy with these, they fit really well and they're quite snug and they keep you solid. You can see that there's this nice red stitching on the seat and at the back and on the headrest. Totally happy with those. The gear system is fantastically smooth, really sort of tight and solid. Really pleased with the gear system. We have the CD player that also will play MP3 format, which is great. On this model, had to get one with air conditioning. Air conditioning works wonderful. We've got the hazard warning light here. Already, within just 4 or 5 days of owning the car, I've actually knocked that about 3 times. So that's in a position where when you adjust these air vents, I don't know how, but I've adjusted the air vents and I tend to knock it, which is a little bit annoying. So that might have been better to be in a slightly better position. Over to the steering wheel. It's a full leather steering wheel and it's fine. You've got functions for the your CD player and your radio, etc. on there, which are fine. The actual indicator stalks are fantastic, and lighting, they're fantastic. They're very smooth, nice, light touch sensitive. And I think also over here you've got the let's switch this thing on. Let me get my keys. All right, hold on. And obviously you've got the radio. Switch that off. Over here we've got this like sporty dash dial, so quite a nice touch. And you can't see, I don't know if my cameraman can just look round here. Probably have to come around the other side, but we've got the actual main switch for the lights here. Basically switch across to put the lights on. We've got the fog lamps, etc. here, and switch off. So that's lights on and off. Yeah, and that's that. Obviously you've got all the vents. We've got a lot of airbags going on in here. They're all over the place. We've got one up. We've got one at each side here. We've got the obviously airbag over here. I've obviously got the airbag. I think, yeah, we've got even got airbags in the back. So airbag safety-wise is fantastic. Right, now that's all the good points. Now let's get on to the not so good points. So you can switch off. Right, now for the not so good points. There's not too many, but when I come out of the Vauxhall, my local Vauxhall garage at Christchurch, which is Eden, company Eden, I was very surprised not to actually have some basic mats just fitted to the floors, because everyone knows that without mats, you can see here, this is my wife. She's dirty. Look at her making all this mess. She's been sat here on only about 3 or 4 occasions when I've dropped her off at work over the past few days, and you can see it's getting mucky already. So it's quite important to have mats, and I'm a bit disappointed, to be honest, in Eden that they don't actually. Apparently, there's a policy where they don't actually supply mats. They get the old mats out and they don't replace them. Now I think that's a bit. That's not so good for a company, really, because I mean the mats are only going to cost them next to nothing. I mean if I was to buy these mats, they're still going to cost me about 50, 60 plus pounds, and for Eden, you know, Vauxhall themselves, it's going to cost literally anything for them, you know, probably £10, £20 to produce them, maybe less, I don't know. So it's a bit annoying when you buy this is a second-hand car, but it's only under a year old. It's like a bit annoying for me to actually buy this car at approximately £10,000 and then not to supply the actual some basic mats to go in to protect the carpets. It's a little niggle of mine anyway. I'm sure other people must feel the same, but please reply to the video if you do. You know, because that would have been a nice little touch, and it's one of my main niggles. Anyway, moving on, we've actually got this oh, I forgot about the name. What do you call them?
Glove box.
Glove box, yeah. We'll carry on. Anyway, glove box, yeah, glove compartment. You can see, looks very, very big, and you know it's going to hold a lot. You open it, nothing, no space at all. How ridiculous is that? I mean, obviously this part here is obviously the fuse box, but I mean there is absolutely no room to put anything. You know, slide documents in, etc. So I'm a little disappointed about that. That's not a very good use of space there, is it? At all. And right now, what's the other negatives? Can you remember, Rich?
Rumble.
The rumble, yeah. The noise in this car, the actual engine noise is fine, but strangely enough, they seem to have soundproofed the engine. But when you're on a sort of like a pretty coarse road, there's quite a lot of noise from the actual tyres, which is quite loud actually, especially if you're doing 50, 60 miles an hour. You have to put your you know, your CD, MP3, if you've got music, you have to put up quite loud to go over that. So that's quite loud, and that's quite annoying. I'm quite disappointed in that, because that's quite an important part of a car. And a 2014 car, you expect soundproofing to be on, you know, pretty much on par these days, but it's not. It's actually quite a noisy car. And that's that side of it. Can you think of any more, Rich? Oh yeah, one more thing. The kids, they don't like the seats in the back, and I can understand it. The seats in the back are for passengers are quite they're lovely. You know, you can see they're quite, you know, they've got the sporty type with the red stitching, etc. But they are pretty much uncomfortable. It would have been nicer if they had slightly more comfortable seats in the back for the passengers. And I think that's just about sums the car up. I hope I haven't forgot anything. But if you've got any questions at all about the Vauxhall Corsa SXi 5-door, please reply to the video